Clarence Thomas was not at all happy that the Supreme Court declined this week to take up a challenge to Illinois' ban on assault weapons. He put out his own opinion about this, saying, well, effectively making sure that you know that he's keen to uproot future bans. He urged the court to take up another such case on the basis that some semi-automatic guns, such as the AR-15, are among the most popular weapons in the nation, thereby claiming that more guidance is needed to delineate which weapons are dangerous and unusual. And yes, he did focus on the fact that they are popular, because obviously if something is popular, it has to be legal and it has to be constitutional. That's why they would never challenge weed. I mean, so many millions of people use it. How could you make the case that it could be illegal? But anyway, he further called the Seventh Circuit's decision to uphold the state ban, one of the lower courts, which stems from a landmark 2008 Supreme Court decision that ruled that military-grade weapons such as M16 rifles are not protected under the Second Amendment, as nonsensical. It's not, look, I'm not a lawyer or whatever, and I'm certainly not a Supreme Court justice, but it is hardly nonsensical when a Supreme Court decision says that there are military-grade weapons that are not protected, and the Seventh Circuit's like, okay, well, this is one of those. You could disagree with that, or you could do what the Supreme Court does these days, which is just give a middle finger to their own precedent. But you can't say it's nonsensical because it's pretty sensical, I think.
The video will continue in just a moment, but first I have a message for you. TYT needs your help. Membership is vital to survival, so please go to tyt.com/team and become a member today.
He says the Seventh Circuit's contrived non-militaristic limitation on the arms protected by the Second Amendment seems unmoored from both text and history. It is difficult to see how the Seventh Circuit could have concluded that the most widely owned semi-automatic rifles are not arms protected by the Second Amendment. Again, there is no ideology or philosophy here. There is just, they've sold a lot, people like them, thereby, like, how could you say that it's illegal? And you can definitely define classes of weapons as only being acceptable for the military. There's a variety of ways that you can, and indeed groups have done that. He is pretending to not understand that because, again, he's trying to give gifts to the right who have given him so many gifts over the years. Right, what do you think?
Guys, listen, there's E. coli tainting the spinach, but so many people already own the spinach that we shouldn't do anything. There's lead in all the pipes. We've already laid the pipes. Yeah. It's poisoning people. How can you say that with pipes this popular that we should do something about it? No, Clarence, that's not how any of this works. Just because you failed so bad that millions and millions of people have weapons of essentially mass destruction doesn't mean it's okay. There are tons of Supreme Court decisions that have the whiff, and court decisions in general that have the whiff of this. The like, it would just be too much and too unwieldy to regulate. But no, this is a very simple thing that, by the way, we've done before. There was an assault weapons ban. It was fine. It was legislation. It was enacted. There were fewer people getting killed by these kinds of weapons. This isn't like, computing power where like your phone can do what 40 computers used to do. And like, it's not dangerous. Like, yeah, the computer's fine. But the thing that can do what 40 guns can do is more dangerous. And that kind of dynamic is one that separates the normal kind of weapon that you can own as an individual versus what is for government use in a military standpoint. And that difference is already made and in action on other things that just aren't as easy to buy at a gun show.
Yeah. Look, I just think it's such a weird way to argue. Like, it's popular, thereby it has to be constitutional. I don't know, like,
so many people have nuclear weapons already. Why shouldn't we let them have them?
Let's not even focus on guns. Let's come up with a totally random other issue. Like, imagine if there was a medical procedure that millions of people had for decades. You clearly couldn't outlaw that, saying it's unconstitutional, right? By the way, the Illinois ban came into effect after a shooting at the Highland Park in Chicago. 7 people died, 48 others were injured. There are also bans on large capacity magazines, things that let you convert basically semi-automatic weapons into automatic machine guns. He's not gonna care about any of that, by the way. He joined the majority decision to overturn the ban on bump stocks and dissented from a ruling barring domestic abusers from owning guns. He is out of his mind when it comes to guns. And I know it's hard to remember that because there's so many other areas in which he is absolutely insane, but on guns, 100%. And he didn't get what he wanted here, but he could well in the future.